What up YouTube, Topaz Yates back for another album review, and this one is to that King Von, What It Means to Be King. But before we jump into this review, first I gotta give you context. First I gotta let you know everything that I'm thinking of leading up to this project so you know exactly how I feel during this project. But if you feel as though you know everything there is to know about King Von, feel free to fast forward to this point here. Who was King Von? He was Little Durk's artist that was tragically murdered in his prime. Sad to see it because we never know exactly how far he could have gone. He was associated with individual acts that are also solid, like say NLE Chopper, which leads us to this What It Means to Be a King, which is a posthumous album. That means it's an album after he passed. He didn't really work on anything new for this because he wasn't here to do so. And it's messed up because I feel as though King Von was one of the best, if not the best, prospect that drill music has ever had in its entire history. But like I always say about these types of projects, out of respect for the dead, I'ma treat your music the same as I did while you were alive. Which is ultimately meaning I feel as though the bar is way too high here for this project. My issue with these types of projects are usually they are leftovers that King Von and all the other acts decided not to use in their career, unless they are the type of artists that have been putting music to the side, knowing that they're waiting for one particular point to hit on the scene the hardest that they possibly can, like an individual like Nipsey Hussle. If you guys don't know, a lot of those songs from Victory Lap, he had those in his pocket for a very long time because he wanted to come out the gate with a classic, and he did it. But King Von wasn't in the game long enough to actually do that, so therefore I believe we're pretty much just getting scraps here. Now, as I said, King Von was one of the best prospects that drill music had, and there's a good selection of songs out there that I would recommend you to go ahead and peep out if you never listened to them. Like say that Welcome to O Block album still gets play on my playlist with the songs Demon, Mine 2, Ride, yet his biggest songs that you may have heard of was that Take Her to the O and Crazy Story. Now, this brings us to the album review of King Von, What It Means to Be King. And I believe this album is a better expression of love towards an artist than most posthumous albums. Like take Pop Smoke's latest, where you were getting what Drake disses by Pusha T, random verses by Rick Ross, and all of this stuff, man. A bunch of people who really could care less about the individual Pop Smoke, in which that could possibly have been the last time we ever heard from him, therefore just watering down the legacy. This project is not that. You can tell whoever pieced it together actually cared and actually wanted this to be pretty good. As I feel as though this project has some solid production, has some okay songs here and there, but clearly the B-grade tracks that he had left over, mostly. Take the song Where I'm From. This is an example of how difficult it is to make music around bars that are already laid down and made. You dig? Because rappers, especially the good rappers, we rap on bass lines, we rap on drums, we rap on instruments. Sometimes we rap on all of those in the same track. So therefore, when you create a new beat and try to add it to something that's already laid down, in a lot of cases it's just going to sound off because maybe you didn't put the emphasis on the production where it needed to be in order for it to be on point. If you're not 100% on point, or you don't have a great understanding of what you're doing, then you're going to mess it up. And that's what this felt like, even though the production wasn't all that bad. But there were a bunch of songs on here that were entertaining, like say Mad, for example. He's pretty much speaking about the jealousy that he's encountering, and hey, that's foreshadowing if I've ever heard it in my life. There was quality on all ends here when the vast majority of the other songs just felt like they were thrown together. The song Get It Done, I enjoyed that one. Like, I enjoyed the bounce that was to that beat and how he was rhyming to that one. It was unique production, and it's like the embodiment of, say, some Jay-Z lyrics from back in the day, if you guys know what I'm talking about. Like, you know killers think they gun can kill 4 killers. Like, that's what he's ultimately talking about in this song, how people think that, you know, they got a gun or they can do whatever they want to, and now they're the most gangster individuals out there. Like, there ain't people that's just gonna roll up and jump you, like no fair ones, no one-on-one, no. It's Get It How You Live season out here. Like, entertaining track there, even though didn't like the feature. And I mean, let's keep it all the way 1000. One thing that drags down a bunch of these songs off this project happens to be the features. And that's just one of the best indications that King Von was just one of the few that had the talent to take this genre to the next level, when you see the vast majority of everyone else that's in this genre all rapping the same, all doing the same music, because they feel as though if you do it this way, then it's going to hit because everyone else is doing it that way, instead of actually polishing your skill set, instead of actually becoming great. But really, the only song off of this that I'm going to keep and probably going to play a bunch would be that Grandson for President. Yeah, this one shocked me. I didn't think I would ever like anything like this. But yet, it takes a talented individual to do this. What is Grandson for President? He remade Knuck If You Buck, one of my least favorite songs of all time. Like, we was talking in my live stream about my top 15 hated songs of all time. Knuck If You Buck is top 5. You feel me? It was the foundation of what ruined music. But yet, a talented individual like King Von could take that, and then they go ahead and switch up the production and actually make it something of quality and make this song into something hot. That blew my mind for 1 second, and it saddens me because that's the kind of potential that we had in this individual, man, just to be cut short by some nonsense, man. Overall, this project is exactly what I expected coming into it, which was going to be a massive disappointment, because that's what all of these projects end up being. But I think it's better than the vast majority of these types of projects, so therefore I'll give it a 4 out of 10.